Welcome, and thanks for joining me for Pathfinder Kingmaker. This is Journeys in the Stolen Lands. Just finished up here at Ratnook Hill. We were able to kill the were-rats in there and gather a little bit of treasure. We're gonna head out here and I think maybe head to the mud bowl where we need to find some mushrooms for Old Beldame. Okay, we're gonna at least make a quick stop at Tuskdale, check on things there, and we'll see if there's anything new at the kingdom table we need to take care of. And then thought about going to the mud bowl to pick mushrooms. But the other thing we could do is we've got the letter to Valerie, or about Valerie, that we need to go talk to her about. And then we could grab a Miri and go hodag hunting. Let's get rested up and see if there's anything new that we need to take care of at the kingdom table before we decide what to do next. Alright, let's check in here. Okay, we do have a new problem here. The local stone mine had a rock slide. Stone merchants have jacked up the prices and construction materials are running short. So we're going to put Kinnair on this. See if she can handle that. She is our new treasurer. We replaced Jubilost with her just for something different and see how things work out with her. Okay, I think... Oh, we've got one day left on this, so let's skip a day. So we get +1 bonus to resolving problems with the general. That should be nice. Okay, so then since Ragongar finished up that other project, he's now available for this opportunity, the art of making friends. A large trade caravan stopped at the capital. Its masters, it said, are major merchants of Andoran. It's time to show them some hospitality. Okay, Ragongar, we'll see if you can be hospitable. Okay, that's everything there for now. Oh, we have Bakken visiting. He has brought us a potion of protection from arrows, potion of eagle splendor, and protection from fire. Nice. Okay. Yeah, we'll just let him go make whatever you want. Okay, since we haven't talked to her at all really yet, we're going to go see Valerie and show her the letter and talk to her a little bit and see where things go from there. Okay, here's Valerie. Glad to see you. Valerie, I received a letter from Fredero Sinnet. He says I'm to free you from service and return you to Shellin. Valerie looks at you, unblinking, and you see her eyes darken with an anger she can barely contain. Really? May I take a look at this letter? Is that so? I see. My apologies, Kane. I seem to have become the reason for this message and highly inappropriate demands it contains. I know this person. Fredero Sinnet is one of the mentors in the Order of the Eternal Rose. A true paladin of Shaylin, one of those who insist they are right till the very end. He kept saying louder than anyone that Shaylin herself predetermined my fate, even when I was packing my things before I left. Looks like he never came to terms with me leaving, since he found me even here. But the nerve. The mistake of leaving our ranks, return to the path destined her by divine will. Since when does Fredero fancy himself the personal harbinger of his precious Shaylin? Valerie, her face scarlet red, doesn't seem to notice the letter crumpling in her hand. Enough. We must put an end to this. If paladins of the Order of the Eternal Rose require another refusal, they shall get it. I'm going to the trading post with you to meet Fredero. I serve you, it's as simple as that. It's my decision and I'm not going to change it just because someone from my past thinks otherwise. What if I just throw these paladins off my lands? I'd be well within my rights. No, if you respect my honor and value my loyalty, please refrain from such hasty actions. I will go to the trading post with you. I will meet Sinnet, give him my final refusal, and the matter will be settled. Enough about that. Okay, tell me about yourself a little bit, Valerie. What exactly would you like to know? I was born to a noble family, though I didn't remain long on the family estate. My father sent me to the Order of the Eternal Rose, but I left once I realized that it didn't match my principles. Where are you from? What was your childhood like? I was born in Brevoy, but in fact I've never seen much of the country. I spent my childhood on a remote estate owned by my noble family. My father is a respectable philanthropist and benefactor of the Church of Shaolin. He's also a renowned private collector and a great admirer of the arts. My mother saw to my education personally. From my early years I learned good manners, how to behave at the dinner table, and the proper form of words for every occasion. I also learned the difference between true nobles and low-born upstarts, and I learned how to treat each of them properly. Our home was always under the protection of several paladins of Shaolin. My father has donated a handsome sum to their order. One of them, a man of venerable age with a gray beard, once let me touch his shining armor. I still remember the admiration I felt when I touched the cold, polished steel. Valerie smiles. Of all the memories of my childhood, that one is somehow the warmest one. Why were you sent to the Paladin Order of the Eternal Rose? As you can imagine, from my first days I was surrounded by crowds of servants and nannies who never stopped praising my heavenly beauty. The paladins of Shaolin who used to visit our house echoed these praises. In the end, general consensus overwhelmed my father's better judgment. When I turned 6, I was brought to the Church of Shaolin and told that this would be my new home. Don't pity me, though, I beg of you. Many who hear this story immediately assume that my parents were cruel and had no love for their child. Valerie's eyes become stern. My parents had respect for me. They taught me something that has supported me all of my life, a sense of self-esteem. Besides, they didn't abandon me. Once every 6 months, they would come and visit me at the Order of the Eternal Rose. We had some tea and then had an hour to walk around the garden. Then they would take their leave as etiquette demanded. What did they teach you in the order? A variety of things. Some of them appealed to me, others I simply couldn't accept. I enjoyed the physical activities and swordmanship, but the arts, calligraphy, painting, poetry, and so many other ways to waste one's time. I guess that deep in my heart I always knew I'd never be a true paladin of Shaolin. Wielding a sword always felt more natural to me than handling a paintbrush. Why did you leave the order? Because of my heavenly beauty. Valerie winces in contempt. According to Shaolin's laws, all art is sacred, whatever form it takes. Severe punishment awaits those who dare harm a painting, sculpture, or poem, no matter how worthless the drivel might be. My looks always attracted unwanted attention from the pilgrims and acolytes at the temple. I received my first poem dedicated to me when I was 9. The author was some wealthy geezer. Valerie's lips thin in contempt, and that was only the beginning. Sculptures, pictures, poems, I was drowning in them. My admirers mobbed me, and I had to respectfully accept all their garbage. The clerics of the temple were magnanimous, for my suitors made generous offerings to the church, but one time I just snapped. Barely suppressed anger glitters across Valerie's eyes. Some wealthy idiot has dedicated an extremely untalented poem to me, and he had the nerve to read it right to my face, holding my sleeve. The hour was late, and I was on my way to get some rest after a boring lesson on rhymes. I lost control and tore the poem apart, right in front of him. The paladins wanted to impose some punishment upon me. I don't remember which one exactly. They wanted me to repent. Instead, I just gathered my things and left. What did you do after you left the order? I set off for Rostov. I wanted to get as far away as possible from Shaolin and the destiny everyone seemed so ready to force upon me. Besides, the School of Swordsmanship in Rostov has quite a decent reputation. Honestly, I was hoping for an opportunity to learn from the famous Aldori masters. Eventually, it became clear that their technique wasn't a good fit for me. They teach to avoid impact, whereas I prefer to raise my shield. But my abilities and skills, which I had learned at the Order of the Eternal Rose, were enough to make the Sword Lords take an interest in me. They offered me a chance to join the mercenaries who served the Sword Lords, and I accepted. I bet your beauty inspired many people in the Order. Valerie's gaze suddenly becomes cold, and here I had hoped to avoid the question. She exhales loudly. Well, let's get this over with, once and for all. You should understand that I am perfectly aware that most races, orders, and genders find me physically attractive. It's beyond my power to change that. But I've never given a potential admirer any reason to start a conversation with me, but it doesn't stop them. After leaving the order, I took a dagger and cut off the long hair they used to praise. Well, now I get letters praising the beauty of my eyes. It was because of my appearance that I ended up in the Order of the Eternal Rose, though I never wanted to be a paladin. It was because of my beauty that an infinite number of suitors have pursued me, all of them confusing simple politeness with hints of affection. But do you know what I really want? I want people to stop treating me like a piece of art. I want them to notice that I'm a person, that I'm capable of something more than smiling for paintings, where I sit wearing a lacy satin dress holding a basket of peaches in my lap. Is that too much to ask? The last question comes out in a shout, though Valerie doesn't seem to realize it. Whoa, whoa, why all the shouting? It was just a simple question. What's become of all your precious self-control? Valerie breathes heavily for a moment, gasping awkwardly. As the meaning of your words finally became clear to her, she regains control over herself. I humbly beg your pardon, she says calmly. That will never happen again. Tell me about the way of Shaylin and about her paladins. Shaylin is a goddess of love, beauty, and art. Her paladins are something like armored artists. That's how they like to think of themselves, at least. Valerie tries to contain her feelings, but her inner contempt bursts forth. They are fanatical defenders of worthless, inartistic paintings and meaningless opuses, if you care to know my opinion. You speak of Shaylin with such contempt. What did the goddess of beauty do to earn your anger? She's been trying to ruin my life. Shaylin, the goddess of everything useless that ever existed in this life. All the beauty in the world, all the art, all the soulful sighs in the moonlight, they'll never feed a single family. And I beg you to restrain yourself from offering your own opinion. Trust me, I've heard everything you can tell me more than once. Nothing, and nobody can change my mind. Valerie looks at you with suspicion. As for Shaylin, she's the goddess of idlers. I almost joined her preposterous entourage. I'm just glad I was smart enough to denounce her while I still could. What do paladins of Shaylin usually do? They wander around seeking the next pile of garbage. And when they find it, they call it an immortal piece of art and admire it until they're blue in the face. You might not believe this, but the paladins of Shaylin aren't allowed to slay their enemies if they beg for mercy. Can you guess why? Because a bandit, rapist, or murderer who has been put to the sword will never be able to create something beautiful in the future. So a paladin overpowers her enemy in battle, then inspires him to create a masterpiece. Valerie's face reflects extreme disgust. It might sound hilarious if it weren't true. Plus, all of Shaylin's followers are obliged to practice some sort of art in his or her free time, every single day, no matter what else is going on, even if you're feeling sick, hungry, or sleepy. Otherwise, according to their clerics, you lose your connection with your goddess. A preposterous notion, wouldn't you agree? You said that every paladin must practice some kind of art. What kind of art did you pursue? That I used to embroider, and I still do from time to time. It's nothing, I assure you, just a simple task to keep my hands busy and keep the gloomy thoughts at bay. Nothing special. Okay. So you're an atheist? You don't worship any deity? Right, I need no guidance from above. I have my own good conscience and my leader's orders to live by. You know, you don't have to follow etiquette and maintain good manners while speaking with me if you don't want to. I'm aware of that, but I'm sure you understand that I am what I am. That's how I was brought up, first by my parents and then by my mentors in the order. I guess you have plenty of suitors. Valerie rolls her eyes. Sadly, you're right to suppose that, even here in these remote lands, one can find offspring of many noble houses, and all of them consider it their duty to kneel before me, begging me to walk with them in the garden. Valerie's voice overflows with contempt. If words were poison, you'd be dying a horrible death. Oh, and don't forget about the village oafs. They understand the concept of nobility perfectly well. So they realize they'll be punished if they dare make any advance towards me. So they prefer to stare from a distance, drooling. And believe me, I can very well imagine what they discuss in the taverns. Valerie shivers and jerks her shoulders, as if trying to shed the sticky, disgusting stares. Well, you know, You really are quite beautiful. You're a reliable friend and a worthy ally, but would be a crime to ignore your beauty. Valerie gives you a stony look. I sincerely hope your words carry nothing more than mere politeness. Oh, Kane. For the moment, yes. I'm not going to stalk you like your admirers, but I wanted you to know that I've noticed you. So you like me, but won't seek my favor. Well, that's something new. Valerie raises her eyebrow and smiles, but this smile expresses amusement, not her usual cold arrogance. You're so eager to follow my orders. Why? What do you mean, why? I follow your orders. I've joined your campaign because I have faith in you. I believe your intentions to be noble, though things may not always turn out as you've planned. You are my commander. Your orders are law. It's my duty to follow them. Well, so long as you don't order me to do something that's absolutely dishonorable. But that would never happen, I hope. Alright. Okay, I think as long as we've spoken with her now and showed her the letter, we might as well go take her with us to Fredero. Shoot, I miss having Jod right out here. Buy scrolls from. How are we doing on things like that? Actually, probably okay there, but we're going to need to buy a few camping supplies, and we've got some stuff to sell. So we'll do that, and then we'll catch up. Okay, we are going to go ahead and travel to Oleg's. We're going to swap Valerie in for Anna. We leveled her up. She's only level 4, but we took Shield Wall for the feet so she can have that along with Alvar. And we'll just see how that works. I'm not expecting any fights with her other than, I think, doesn't she have a solo fight here? Probably won't go very well, but we'll see what happens. Okay, we'll travel up to Oleg's. Meet you there. Okay, we made it up here to Oleg's. We'll see if Fredero is here waiting for us. Here we go.
Don't know, don't care.
A middle-aged man in polished, shiny armor turns to you. His beard and hair are impeccably styled, and an expression of reserved politeness sits frozen on his face, as his piercing gray eyes watch everything attentively. Baron Kane, what an honor to meet you in person. I am Fredero Sinnet, a paladin of the most illustrious Shaolin from the Eternal Rose Order. Fredero looks at Valerie. There you are, Valerie. How many years has it been since we saw each other? I'm so happy that the years haven't erased the divine bliss written upon your radiant face. Valerie nods to Sinnet coldly. Greetings, I'm glad to see you in good health, Fredero. Tell me, Fredero, why are you here? The paladin looks right at you. As I mentioned in my letter, my goal is to return Valerie to Shaylin's grace. Several years ago, a terrible mistake was made. She whose fate was determined before she was born decided to resist her calling. I would appeal to Valerie's mind and remind her of her duty. You speak as though I'm incapable of understanding where my duties lie. You have given me much cause for doubt. You are from the Eternal Rose Order, right? Exactly. I once guarded works that showed Shaylin's blessings. Works of art, beauty, and love. But that's a path for young and energetic paladins and priests. Now I've become a mentor in the Order. Many servants of Shaylin who now guard her creations were brought up by me, and I'm sure Valerie would have surpassed them all had she not left our ranks. You knew Valerie as a girl? Tell me about her. Fredero smiles pensively. Do I possess the words to describe the chosen of Shaylin? Oh, I don't look at me like that. I'm not the only one who believes it. A special role has been prepared for this girl in the ranks of the Eternal Rose's followers. I'm sure you've noticed Valerie's greatest virtue. She's impeccably loyal to whatever or whomever she serves. Her father did the right thing in sending his daughter into Shaylin's embrace, and Valerie's departure from the Order was just an unfortunate mistake of youth. I'm sure she regrets her desperate mistake, driven by hurt feelings and rash judgment. Only shame and pride have kept her from admitting it. Her true place is in the radiance of glorious Shaylin. Valerie, my departure wasn't a mistake. It fixed someone else's mistake, which caused me to waste a few years of my life. Okay, I think you and Valerie should talk. Don't go, your grace. My intentions are known to all. Valerie, I have come to return you to our faith. Our? Now you imagine that not only do I want to serve Shaylin, but now I have faith in her too? Fredero shakes his head. I don't recognize you, Valerie. What is this tone you address me with? I remember what politeness and respect you showed your elders. We held you up as an example for the other novices. Valerie raises her chin ever so slightly. I'm only repaying your courtesy in kind, Fredero. If you so easily ascribe to me thoughts and aspirations that I do not possess, then I can be as liberal a judge of your behavior. Watch your tongue, Fredero. You're on my lands. You will respect my subjects. Fredero gives you a respectful look and a nod. In no way did I intend to be impolite. Forgive my manners. It's difficult for me not to address Valerie as a novice, for that is what she was the last time I saw. As for my return to the church, which you so bluntly insist upon, Valerie pulls her chin up. Please, Fredero, spare me your wordy speeches. The day I walked out the convent gates, I made a decision I'm not going to change. I'm never returning to the Eternal Rose Order. I'm never going back to serving Shaylin. Whatever nonsense you started with your letter, let's put an end to it once and for all. Fredero studies Valerie's face for a long time. His eyes turn steel gray. I don't believe my ears. I expected to see repentance, Valerie. Repentance for your foolish choices. Repentance for the pain you've caused your family and all those who relied on you. But instead, I see a proud renegade who dares to resist the will of the goddess, and who would defy me, the one who labored to bring you up and teach you. Red spots start to appear on Valerie's cheeks, and she catches her breath with some difficulty. I am not in the least bit surprised by your words, Fredero. You have always been deaf to anything that goes against your beliefs. I'm not Shaylin's chosen. I'm not a god's toy created to entertain the whimsical goddess. I'm not... Quiet. Quiet before you bring her wrath upon you. How dare you, who is bestowed with celestial beauty, so insolently reject such gifts that others can only dream about? Your fate is already decided, laid out as a fine carpet before you. Enough. I didn't come here to listen to a spoiled child speaking out of turn, but only to bring you home, and I will take you by the ear and drag you all the way to the Order's convent if that's what it takes. One more word, Sinnet, and your head will be decorating the nearest fence. Valerie slices the air with her hand. Stay out of it, Kane. Fredero might be crossing the boundaries of politeness, but no more than that. Stay your hand and allow me to finish. I only meant to support you. Valerie interrupts you as she is almost screaming. What you call home, Fredero, was my prison. My home is here in these lands for which the Baron and I have fought and shed our blood. Here beside the one I've vowed to serve and whom I shan't leave until I die. Here in the Stolen Lands where for the first time I can decide for myself where I belong and what I believe. Valerie's voice grows soft, almost like a hissing snake. Take your people, Fredero, and go back to the Eternal Rose Abbey. And if you have the nerve to claim I'm Shaylin's chosen, well, know that your precious goddess should have chosen her trinkets more carefully. Fredero grows white as a sheet. How dare you? Okay, let's just stay out of it. Fredero looks Valerie in the eye. The paladin's hand is on his weapon. If you insist on standing equal to Shaylin's paladin, answer for your words now. If you have a drop of dignity left, you won't deny me satisfaction. Valerie looks at the enraged paladin fearlessly. Oh, so now I'm suddenly an independent person in your eyes. Finally, well, then I shall agree to this duel with indescribable pleasure. Kane, you shall be my second. Alright, as you say, Valerie, what will you have me do? The second's responsibilities include observing the fight, mediating in the duel, and should the circumstances require, declaring the final verdict. Valerie reaches for her weapon. I think here is good enough. Step away, Kane. I don't want to hit you by accident. Let's see what you learned. Anything more than insolence from your mercenary... Whether you learned anything more than insolence from your mercenary friends. Oh boy, okay. Here we go. These little bubbles stay up forever sometimes. Oleg? Svetlana? Better watch out. I can't remember if we control her or if she's on her own in this. We did give her that. We had a shock short sword. Okay, we do get to control her. Yeah, I doubt if this is gonna go anywhere, but we'll give her... What about maybe like, I don't know. We have a blur potion and we don't. Shield of Faith. That on. We might want to just take off defensive fighting then too.
Let us strike as one.
We're gonna need our attack rolls. So here you
Do
go.
not falter.
Probably just real time it. See how it plays out. He's got all the buffs.
Onwards.
There you go, Valerie. She got a hit in. Oh, he sundered her armor. Alright. Have at it.
Her.
Ooh.
I can't keep this up much longer.
Drink a potion. Okay. Alright. Fredero steps back and sheaths his weapon. Looks like everything's in its place, doesn't it? You could be however insolent to whomever you wanted as long as you were considered as a girl, Valerie. But now you'll have to answer for all the stupid things you said in pride or heated moments. I'm satisfied with the outcome of this duel. I see no reason to linger here, upsetting the owners of this trading post and the Baron. With great sadness, I will continue my way without Valerie, who from now on has no right to return to the Order of the Eternal Rose due to her transgressions. I will bother you no longer. My regards, Your Grace. Valerie. Fredero stops short. Farewell. Alright. I'm assuming there's some way that Valerie can actually win that duel and probably changes the outcome of things here, but both times we've done it, it hasn't even been a fight. Dear gods, your face, Valerie. What? Is there something? Valerie touches the wound, crossing her face, and looks at the blood on her fingers, more baffled than scared. Fredero did it. That scoundrel. Valerie shakes her head. Strange, I do not remember receiving this blow. Not at all. She touches the wound again, winces, and finally waves it off. It's nothing. I do not even feel any pain, only fatigue. Save your pity for someone who is truly wounded, and I just need to rest and wash myself clean after all these conversations about Shaylin. Okay. So we took care of Valerie's quest. For now. Duel is over. And Valerie, oh poor Valerie, her poor face. I hope once we're back at the capital she will find a way to heal that terrible gash. Yeah, I guess in our other playthrough we never... I don't think we ever got to anything... Like, I wonder if there is a way to heal that scar. I can't remember now. I can't remember what happens further with her. And if there's some option at some point to heal her. Or what happens with that. Okay. As long as we're up here, let's see if Hawken has anything we want to buy. We could probably use a few more potions. What about, like, yeah, a couple of blur potions. There are times when those would come in handy. Restoration potions. Got a couple of those. Okay, we'll buy a few things there. Call that good. Okay. That is it here at Oleg's. We will take Valerie back home, pick up Anna probably, unless we decide we want to go take Jathel to look for the boar. We might do that yet next. Maybe just use this kind of break here in between chapters. We've got the trolls taken care of. Maybe we'll just keep working on the companion quests. All right. Thanks for being here and watching. Valerie, sorry the duel didn't quite go maybe the way you'd hoped, but you're still with us at least. Scar and otherwise. Really appreciate you being here and watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye.